Okay, guys, we can start now. Hello, everyone. I am Priya from Power to Change, and welcome to our next talk series session of Power to Change. I'll quickly go over what is Power to Change for the new people who joined in. And so Power to Change is formed by a group of university students in Taiwan. It is an initiative to inspire people and remind them of their power to create a change, to make our world a better place. So our agenda is to use it as a platform to meet other environmental enthusiasts. And our guests, Doris and Maria, will talk about their journey of their environmental startup known as UpRoot, quite an interesting name, also based in Taiwan. So we can follow with me asking a couple of questions and then some time for the Q&A session. So if any of you guys have any questions, you can put it in the chat in the Zoom, or we are also live on Facebook, so you can do that there as well. In the end, we'll have a call to action prepared by our guests and also Power to Change, so that all of you have something to take away from the talk. Yeah. So talking about motivation, we want.
Sorry, I think your slide is
not sharing.
It's freezing, yeah.
Really?
You have the slide, but it's not moving. Maybe you can put a full screen as well. Thank you.
It is full screen from my side.
Well, how about I share from my side then?
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
The next. Okay. So talking about motivation, we want people to realize that they can make a change, even if it gets tough sometimes. So whenever we are living our lives, we find something which we care about, which we are so passionate about. So our motivation and our idea is to go after that thing which motivates us, because then we'll be able to make a change for sure. Next slide. Okay. We as Power to Change want to use a business-like model to combat the problems in the world. So according to our business model, what we are aiming to do right now is to make more and more people switch to electronic bills from paper billing. And we are doing this by collaborating with the banks in Taiwan. This will help us reduce the paper waste, carbon emissions, and save a lot of money, which is spent in transporting the paper bills or making the paper bills. And we are collaborating with the banks so that we save all that money and send it to the energy poverty households in Taiwan. So this is truly a win-win situation. Next slide. So as students, what we are doing is trying to convince the banks to change this paper billing to electronic bills, right? So what we want to do is we want to encourage more and more people by promoting this idea. We organize different activities and collaborations, just like this talk series. Next slide. So how we do this promotion is by class presentations. We put booths. We take part in music festivals. Any event, any opportunity to organize an event, we grab that, and we are spread across Taiwan, in all cities of Taiwan, and all the university students are participating in this. Like we have students from all different universities. Okay, next slide, please. So today we have our social media platform where we do different kind of activities or poster sharing. We also go on live. We talk about Power to Change. We do different dare nights or short night or tofu nights, just so people can come and they can join us. They can know more about Power to Change. Yeah, next slide. So today we have Doris, co-founder of UpRoot, and Maria, the social media content creator and head of PR, to share about UpRoot. And for a short background, Doris is a MOFA scholarship student from Paraguay, majoring in economics and minor in diplomacy from National Changsha University. And she has already been in Taiwan for 5 years now. And Maria is originally from Honduras, also from National Changchun University, and right now in her 4th year, majoring in business administration. Okay. Don't worry, they'll introduce their positions of UpRoot very soon. And okay, guys, I'll hand it over to you now.
Thank you, Priya, and thank you to the people from Power to Change for considering UpRoot to be part of your talk series. We're very honored to be here. We're currently going to be sharing our PowerPoint slide, but I think I need permission. Let me just see.
I think it's already done.
Okay, perfect. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, let me just present it. Perfect. Okay. So as Priya said, we are UpRoot Bioplastic. We're first going to be introducing our co-founders. So as Priya said, we currently have Doris, which is our CEO and co-founder. We also have Jessica, which is our COO and our co-founder. And then we have Jai, who is our CSO and also part of our co-founder team. So UpRoot is a social enterprise established in 2021. Currently, we have a total of 9 members, including our 3 co-founders that I previously said. In the picture, we're missing 2 of our newest members, which are Gabriela. She's an Indonesian girl who's part of our TikTok team. And we also have Vincent Chen, who's part of our business strategy. But in the picture, you can see me all the way to the left. I'm currently part of the marketing team. I am the head of marketing, and especially for the digital marketing area. Then we have Anna, who's also part of the marketing team. In the center, you can see that we have Jessica. Then to the right, you can see that we have Doris. And finally, we have Lorena, who's also part of our digital marketing team. She is part of our content creators. And then in the lower section, we have Heitor, who's part of the business strategy. And finally, we again have Jay. So now I'm going to hand over the mic to Doris, and she's going to be introducing a little bit more about UpRoot and our social cause.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, everyone, for having us here. As Maria Jose said, my name is Doris, and I'm also here representing UpRoot. What we are trying to do, let's just go straight to it, right? We're trying to replace these so-called petroleum-based plastic products and go back to what nature has created, right? Undeniably speaking, plastic is convenient. We have to admit that. And it's super affordable up to today. But the thing is, it causes so much more harm, and it can be there up to 400 years. Imagine your great-great-great-grandfather throw a plastic bottle and it's most likely still there, just somewhere. We're hoping that one day biodegradable products will be the standard practice. Of course, that's what everybody dreams of right now. So we embark on this journey because I am an outdoors lover, and I'm this amateur hiker. And if you spend enough time there in the outdoors, you will see this disgusting plastic pollution that is currently happening everywhere. I mean, if you hike now, you can no longer walk those beautiful green trails without seeing something or without spotting a piece of plastic somewhere. So just if you go outside right now, and you know what I'm talking about, you're gonna find a bunch of disgusting plastic just out there, just hanging. Statistically speaking, 400 million tons of plastic are produced every year. Our Earth's surface is covered in plastic. And to put the icing on the cake, there's a recent study that says right now there's a giant plastic garbage island floating that is 3 times the size of France. If I can share with you why we bear this movement UpRoot, UpRoot means to pull up from the roots. I am originally from Paraguay, and we have this saying when someone is super patriotic, you are as Paraguayan as the cassava. Since it is a root vegetable, we eat it in every single meal. It's a main ingredient. It's a lot of our own traditional dishes, boiled, fried, you name it. Actually, here in Taiwan, you guys had probably had it without you even noticing. You are familiar with the bubble milk tea, correct? The little bubbles are also made out of cassava. Yet it's most of the cassava produced in my country is just being thrown away, completely wasted. So we wanted to find a way to take this thing that represented our culture and give it like an aggregated value. And I remember like we were like so frustrated, and we actually took that moment of frustration and we wanted to do something about it. So after some time, we connected the dot. And this was the moment in which like patriotic me got together with like the amateur hiker me. So I literally just like pulled my closest friends to like do some research, do some development to like really try to combat like this plastic epidemic using renewable resources like come like from Earth. Like I'm so sick and tired of plastic, and my closest friends are like so sick and tired of plastic. So we made like a pact that we're gonna get together like and spend hours, days, weeks to find out what would be the best solution to combat this plastic epidemic. So we literally put tears, blood, literally, like, because it was like bleeding all over the place. And honestly, I remember like I even had to kiss my social life like goodbye. I was literally having contact with like almost no friends, and to be honest, like for like months. But like fortunately speaking, after like some time into this research, we finally came out with like this cassava-based bioplastic. So we took like two different problematics and we like combined them together, like the cassava having absolutely no value where it comes from, and the huge plastic epidemic that is like facing the whole Earth right now. Then the question was then, how do we make this into like a mass production? How do we make this amazing cassava-based bioplastic like the new norm? And that's when we actually came up with like a partnership with a crucial network of OEMs here in Taiwan, from which we are able to create our products made from the cassava starch and biodegradable fossil fuels. And now we're able to make this into like the mass market and also mass production. So when people ask me, what is the coolest thing about UpRoot? I mean, there are like thousands of things that I can actually talk about UpRoot. It's like, it's my baby right now. And I can easily talk about it like for days and days and days. And first of all, like UpRoot's biodegradable products, as I said before, are cassava based. So they are made out of like biodegradable fossil fuels also. And they also have like this mainly world patent technology with like the best technology out there, which is all based here in Taiwan. And our materials are finally certified by like the Inserto TUV Australia OK's bio-based certificate. And even like the coolest thing of them all, we are very close to get like our home compost certificate by like July, August kind of. So what does this certificate actually mean is that this material, it's also suitable for be at home composting in your own garden. Secondly, we can make, or we could use it in like a wide variety of applications. I mean, anything that is plastic based, we can do it. We can replicate it with our own cassava based bioplastic. We can do cutlery, we can do trash bags, we can do grocery bags, we can do whatever you can imagine of. Even like in the future, we're gonna be able to do plastic bottles, everything. And everything can be turned into it like as soon as we have like this cassava-based bioplastic, right? Yet another problem that we saw, and you guys probably even are part of it without actually realizing, it's the straws, correct? Plastic straws are a real problem right now. And we are in Taiwan, and let's make an example. A population of like, how many people are there in Taiwan? Like 30 to 24 million people. And let's make everybody's using like the standard plastic straw that they give you in your everyday bubble milk tea, which is like around 20 centimeters, correct? If you do a quick math right now, like 24 million people, and you multiply that with like the 20 centimeter of plastic, that's like nearly 5,000 kilometers of just plastic straws per day, which is equivalent to almost where we're standing right now, Taipei, to all the way to India daily, just a trail of plastic straws. And these are being thrown away like every single day. And we are right now just talking about plastics. We're not covering other type of, we're not covering the bottles, we're not covering the bags, we're not covering anything, just straws. So like, don't get me started on like all the other plastic forms. As I said, like, if you think about it, it's like a very, very scary thing. Like, we are looking for into a future in which we are going to be buried in plastic soon. Don't like it's very like, when you think about it, it's like very like frightening. Like, how come nobody's actually how come we're still like using plastic as like the norm when it's actually affecting the earth, it's actually like doing so much more harm, not only to our generations, but like the future generations also. Like, and we need to find a new resource. We need to find a new way to like produce this. As I said before, it is affordable, it is convenient, it's so easy. Like, how many times have we gone to like a 7-Eleven and just like took like a takeaway, like with everything made out of plastic? We do understand that, but at the same time, we do need to like commit to a greener way of life, renewable resources. And that's what UpRoot is here for, like, because it feels like plastic, it looks like plastic, but it's not plastic. It's a completely new material that it's more suitable for the earth. And then last but not least, and this is what UpRoot looks like. We offer a replacement for plastic with cassava-based materials, which are biodegradable. Next slide. Because you know what, we are so sick of plastics, as I said before. And because plastic is really ruining our current landscape today and for like the future generations. And to put like a ribbon of like what UpRoot is and where it all came from, why we're here right now, here into like this talk, is we hope like to come here and shed some light into this like tunnel right now, like that there's still hope for us, and there's still time for us to leave a greener footprint for tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm basically going to summarize everything that Doris just said. So again, UpRoot is a social enterprise that was established in 2021. And our main goal is to decrease the overconsumption of plastic that's currently going on. We don't really notice how much plastic we use daily, but it's actually a lot. Just imagine how many water bottles you buy every day. Imagine how many cutlery you use every day. I mean, just in cutlery, we eat 3 times a day. So that's basically 3 sets of cutlery that we use if we don't use reusable cutlery, which most people don't actually because of the inconvenience of it. And the amazing thing about this is that cassava is actually a root that's found in many places throughout the world. It's found in Latin America, it's found in Asia, it's found in Africa, it's found in a lot of places that we don't actually think about. It's so common actually that the UN was actually discovering it, and it named it as a strategic food, just like Paraguay did. And the sad thing about it is that most of it, more than 70% of it, is currently going to waste. So the magic of UpRoot is that, well, the magic of UpRoot and the magic of technology as well, is that we take the starch, which is the picture that we have up here, we turn it into a resin, which is the picture that we have in the lower left-hand corner. And then through technology, hard work, and innovation, we turn it into the right picture, which is all of our inventory. We currently have, as you can see, lids, cups, containers, cutleries, and most importantly, straws, which is the plastic that's most commonly being used right now. And most recently, we just added bags, which again, all of these are 100% compostable. Our compostable stage life is of approximately 180 days. That means that after these products have fulfilled their purpose in our earth, you can just throw them into any kind of landfill, anything that has soil or water. and in 180 days, it's going to be completely gone. So this actually, because it's made of cassava and it's made of a natural root, the nutrients of the cassava go back into the soil and they just repurpose. So it's basically no contamination at all, or the least amount of contamination that we can do, because of course it's going to be there for 180 days, which is approximately 6 months. But this is actually 500 times faster than what plastic usually takes for it to decompose, if it actually decomposes at all. So that seems pretty good to me, like it's a pretty good trade. Yeah, here to the left, you can see that we have our inventory, and these are our current bags. And maybe in the future, and hopefully in the near future, you can see UpRoot around Taiwan and a couple of venues and locations that we're trying to scooch into. And finally, this is how we distinguish each other. So as I mentioned, we are home and garden compostable. So if you actually want to test the quality of our products, you can just take a little plant and you can put our products in the soil, and you can testify for yourself that our products are actually going to decompose in 180 days. Our products are also heat resistant, which is something that some plastic alternatives don't actually have. We all know the example of paper straws, and paper straws, as soon as you put them into any kind of liquid, whether it be cold or hot, we all know that it gets soggy. And that's not the case for our products. So our products are actually heat resistant for temperatures up to 95 degrees. Then our third point is that we use non-toxic ingredients when we are producing our products. So that means that also when it's in its decomposition stage, then no toxic ingredients are going back into our earth. And finally, we also are created by renewable resources. So that is also something that stands out that not all non-plastic alternatives have, which UpRoot does. So if you're taking anything out of this talk series, we want you to take this. So there are options for you guys to use that feel like plastic, look like plastic, and serve the purpose of plastic without having all of the negative and toxic ingredients that plastic has and all of the negative connotations that come with it. And that would basically be it for the introduction of UpRoot. Then we just have this little slide here, like promoting ourselves. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, you can just scan the little QR code that we have on the left. And if you are any customers or any clients that are interested in our products, then you can email us to info@uprootbioplastics.com. And now we're handing the microphone back to Priya.
Thank you, Doris and Maria. That was so insightful. I'm shocked that I didn't know about this before. And I'm so curious, and I liked so many things already. I want to ask you that, how did you come up with this cassava? Like, how did you find out that this can be used as a replacement of plastic? Or was it already known that you can use it as a replacement of plastic?
As I said before, we just saw it originally as like a strategic food. Where I come from, it's everywhere. Kind of like rice in Taiwan, you eat it with everything, and it's there with everything. It's the same thing for us with cassava. So after a couple of months, we did like very intensive research, very intensive like development, and that's when I found out that we could also use it as a new renewable resource for like a bioplastic.
So you made your own team for the research, like you found it by your own self. Like it was not known before, right?
It was because right now like there are current like a lot of different ingredients for potential bioplastics for the replacement of plastics, and cassava was actually also part of the list, and that's why we like partnered up with like we partnered up with develop a partnership here in Taiwan for us to actually also be able to have our own cassava bioplastic.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay. Another question is, what about, like, we see that I'm so glad that you came up with a solution rather than focusing on the problem. And like we have an alternative now, that because it's the small things we do, like you said, we go to the 7-Eleven and we are buying stuff, but we can't help it because the plastic is right in front of us and we just buy it. But if we see the cassava product just next to it, then at least the people who are aware about it, they'll buy the right stuff, right? So I just wanted to ask, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, so sorry. I just like to add up to what you say. Exactly, that's the idea that we have, because as I said before, it has the same resistance as the plastic, the same durability, and the same hardness. So what the idea that we have right now is like to change like a whole planet behavior like on the consumption of plastic is going to be super hard. So we are giving them this new alternative that it's literally plastic, but from like renewable resources. So you don't have to take away your convenience. You don't have to take away anything out of it. Just like, as you said, like just choose the cassava-based plastic instead of like the normal plastic, and you're actually already like doing like a huge green step towards like the future.
And just to add on to that really quick, we actually did a little bit of client research, and we did find out that the majority of clients actually do prefer and would prefer to use biodegradable ingredients as long as they don't take out the convenience of it. Mm-hmm. Because, and you can actually go to our Instagram, and if you scroll a little bit, you're gonna see a little video that we did, which is of an influencer who was complaining about wooden spoons and paper straws. And that is something very common that we usually hear because everyone complains about paper straws. No one likes them. Like, we only use them because we want to feel better about ourselves and the fact that we're not using plastic. But they're not actually good. Like, we also have another video in our Instagram where we do a comparison of a 5-minute test between our straws and the paper straws. And you can see that in 5 minutes, our straws are completely intact. They look, they feel, and they act as plastic. Meanwhile, the paper straws, like, because they're like swirled into a solid form, the swirl is actually like stringing out, and you can see that that's nothing convenient to the customer. Like, when you're drinking something, you want to be enjoying it. You want to be, it's kind of an experience, and especially if you're like in a bar or like in a fancy restaurant, you want to enjoy your drink. You want to enjoy your food. You don't want to be thinking that you have to be chugging your drink in order for it to be actually enjoyable.
Yeah, that's amazing that how you made a product which is actually replacing plastic, which is like almost everywhere and around the world now. As like that's amazing. Also, another question I have is that also because you said that this plastic can be like we can replace it, right? Because now I see more and more people aware of this, but they don't know how to, like, what they can do about it, because like they're aware, but they don't have the time to make the product and replace plastic, and but you came up with an alternative. Oh, I think we already have questions in the chat, so I think we can take them up. Or if they want to ask them themselves, that would be great. So do we have questions in the audience? I think we have one from Wei Tan. What is the selling price of your products? It's amazing you now have the solution, and what is your strategy to get it out of the market so that more users can start using, and how can we help?
Right now, our main and like our star product are like the straws. As I said, like we're using it way too much, and so like what we're selling like them per boxes. Like one box has 4,500 straws, and this box cost is 2,750 NTs today. And of course, the plan is to, once we reach that mass production level, that the price will decrease up to like a 30%. That's why the plastic is actually like so cheap, because every single second, thousands and thousands of kilograms are being made. And then like the strategy that we have right now, we're targeting the food industry and the hospitality service industry, because that's where a lot of these single-use plastics are usually most used at. And right now, the single-use plastic is like the biggest threat, because you use it and you throw it away. So for 5 minutes of convenience, you're like literally giving Earth like 400 years of pollution, kind of. So the strategy we have right now is like we're targeting those sectors that are like the biggest single plastic users right now, And of course, like we're looking to like go up and like try to absorb different industries also. And how can we help? Is literally choosing the businesses or like the little companies that are using our products instead of the plastic ones. That's already like a big help that you can do instead of like using a plastic straw or like a soggy paper straw from a drink stand over there. Like choose the other one. Choose the one that offers like the greener alternative.
That's amazing. So guys, you can go and change your straws. We already have an option. We already have 2 more hands up. So Matt, do you want to ask your question?
Sure. Do you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Maria and Doris, for joining. And other people in this chat know how much I hate plastic too, so I love what you guys are doing. I have a million questions, but I'll keep it to 2 for now. So first one is kind of boring technical, but like a lot of our Power to Change people were like foreign students. So I'm wondering, were you guys here as students first?
Yeah, we're both students actually. So we both studied at the same university and everything. We are expected to graduate right now in June.
Oh, cool. Me too.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, I'm guessing you guys are planning to stay here after that, and if so, like, have you like looked into like visas, like how you will like prolong your stay to keep building UpRoot, or do you like plan to go home and do it there? I'm just curious if like you're planning that.
I mean, personally, we are not leaving Taiwan until we establish an UpRoot as a brand here. First we're launching it here. Yeah, first we're gonna launch it here. Obviously, the dream is to go globally, but right now this is where our roots are right now. The ground, the headquarters are in Taiwan, and we're not. Personally, I'm not moving until I see a strong foundation, until I see like a strong foundation.
Right. So do you know like how that will work? Like, will you be able to get like a business kind of visa, or like what are like the technical details of being able to stay?
Yeah, because right now we're like in process of the registration here in Taiwan right now, and we are all getting like the entrepreneur's visa.
Cool. Okay. Because that's something that I will be like working on too. So I'll just curious. Cool. Thanks. And then second one, I'm curious, like you said you're like targeting like food and service industry, but have you like started looking into like Taiwan's like laws and policies and like starting to plan? I know it's probably like down the road, but like are you starting to like think how you can like maybe interact with the Taiwanese government and try to like work with them to make it more large scale down the line?
It's something that we actually are considering right now. A couple of months ago, we had our first contact with Taipei's mayor, and they were actually like very interested into our plastic bags. Because you know that when you're like throw away your trash, and when the trash truck is coming, and everybody has like, especially in like when you're disposing your food compost or like everything, you put everything in a bag, and then you have to go and like throw everything, but you keep the bag. So what they wanted, what they were like really looking into was like the plastic bag that back there we were still like developing, because you can like just throw like the whole thing into the food compost bin, and after a couple of months it's gonna be eaten by the bugs and the microorganisms of like the soil.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's awesome. Have you heard of Taiwan's circular network?
Right now we're not very familiar with it because we're still like starting small, but like in a couple, when we have like a stronger foundation, we plan to also like jump into that space. Yeah,
you should reach out to them for sure. Because their whole thing is about promoting businesses who have like similar kind of business model as you that can be like circular. So they would probably be willing to help you for sure. So that's just a tip for you. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
There's another question in the chat. Will you be looking for partners to help increase your sales and market penetration?
Of course, we want to reach as many people as we can. We want to be out there in as many places as we went. So we are actually still currently looking for partners, looking for other companies that will also support and will also swap their plastic to a more environmentally friendly plastic that is the ones that UpRoot's offering.
There are a lot of restaurants and venues that are actually showing a lot of interest in us. So we are currently in the talks of trying to create a partnership with them. And once we do so, then you're going to be able to see us around Taipei and hopefully all around Taiwan.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I'm curious, how do you guys promote UpRoot and this plastic use? Because like, except social media, like, how do you guys do the promotions?
Well, we mainly do it through organic content, which is shared through our Instagram and Facebook, and some of it through LinkedIn. But we also take any opportunity that we can. So something that really helped us was the fact that UpRoot actually participated in a student-led competition called Hold Prize. And while they were participating in this competition, our name is UpRoot. And it sounds like rooting for someone. And actually a lot of people started commenting like rooting for UpRoot. So that actually became like our slogan. And then we also do some movements called Purple Wednesday, which is that every other Wednesday in a month, so basically like 2 or 3 Wednesdays in a month, we encourage people to use the color purple, and it can be through clothes or emojis or a flower, anything that you see that has purple. And then you use the hashtag Purple Wednesday and you tag us and we repost it. So then people are curious, like, what is Purple Wednesday? They ask us, we explain. And then if they're interested, they join our movement. But we also, like the example that I gave you of the influencer, that influencer doesn't know me or doesn't know anything about UpRoot. But I saw that they posted something that could work for our benefit because it was criticizing our competitors basically, but not in like they weren't attacking them, but it was just emphasizing the negative connotations that come with paper straws and wooden straws that don't come with our products. So I decided to use that organic content that they created and use it to our advantage to showcase and put the spotlight on how our products are different compared to other alternatives. So we basically just use anything that could help the fact to spread the message that using biodegradable and organic content is not something that's going to take away from your convenience. It's actually that's going to bring more value to the effort that you're putting into it.
That's great. That's great, Maria. Okay. We have a lot of more questions. Does Beatrice, do you want to open your mic and ask your question? Are you here? Because the question is it safe to consume the cutlery? I'm not sure.
Consume like edible?
Consume as eat it or use it?
Yeah, exactly. Beatrice, do you want to clarify what you want to ask, or you can also type in the chat?
If it's consumed, of course, we do not recommend you to eat it, but it is safe for use. It has different certifications, both international and even here in Taiwan. They have all the green light for you to use it for every meal or to use it in your deliveries or everything. So no worries, you're safe. No toxicity, no heavy metals, nothing.
But it's not edible.
But it's not edible. Yeah.
I think that's what she meant to ask. She asked like, oh, I mean, is it edible? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
well, our first prototype actually was consumable, but it wasn't heat resistant. So we decided to give that as a trade-off. Like, people can't actually eat our products, but in exchange, we got the fact that they are heat resistant, which we believe is a little bit more valuable for the consumer.
Another question is, what about other market, for example, Malaysia? Can we link up?
Of course, as I said before, we are starting here in Taiwan, but like we have plans to expand in both Asia, Europe, and North America right now. As actually Asia, it's one of the most one of the continents that consumes plastics the most. So of course, like If we can link them up to all the way to Malaysia, we are always open to the idea. We're always open to expand outside. Right now, sadly, because the past 2 years we have this whole COVID-19 epidemic, it has been very hard for us to move outside of Taiwan due to like the import-export costs and the shipments of everything. The prices of containers and everything have like double, triple up. So it's kind of hard for us to go out, but we're planning to be able to launch internationally by the end of the year.
Wow, that's great. Matt, would you like to ask your question? We still have, I think, 5 minutes.
Okay, sure. It's in the chat, but I just said I recently started a beverage company with my friend. He was also a guest on this talk series. And it's like an all natural drink using Caribbean hibiscus. So we're trying to phase out plastic by just using glass. But obviously, like UpRoot could be a good option too. But I didn't see bottles with like the picture of your things. So do you guys have plans to create bottles as well?
Our raw material, as you can see, like the resins that are like cassava starch based, they can be used in like a wide variety of applications. As I said before, to make bottles, we need to, of course, find like injection blown machine, like every other bottle. These resins are also suitable for us to do bottles in the future. But of course, it's something that we have in mind. But that also takes a little bit of R&D, because like any other plastic, you need to have the perfect formula kind of for it to have like the final bottle the way you want it. It is something we have in mind because it's one of the other most usable single-use plastic products. Sadly, Matt, it's not something we have available or won't have available this year at least.
That's okay. I'll keep my eye out.
How about we like have this talk again like next year, at the beginning of next year? Like I think we can work something out. Yeah.
All right. I'll be in touch.
There's another question from Wei that as part of the race to net zero, do you think, like, are you facing any problems having a large scale production, or did you face any problems, or do you plan to do a large scale production?
Right now, as I said before, we're lucky enough to have like a great network of OEMs for us to mass produce. The only problem right now we are facing is we are going to be producing more than what we are actually selling. So we had to like put a little pause on it, like, and scale down our production. The way we can speed it up is turning more companies, turning more businesses into like a greener, more environmentally friendly ones.
Makes sense. Also, I remember Tiffany had a question and I totally forgot. Can you please open your mic, Tiffany? I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, my question is quite similar to Matt's question, so I'll not ask again.
Okay, no problem. Do we have any other questions in the chat or the audience? That's it. Okay, I have another question, like, because since you're working on the solution and how to make this plastic situation better in the future, like, what do you think, or if you have any thoughts about the plastic which is already there on the surface of the earth? Like, as you said, that if you put the straws together, which is already on the ground, it would be a long distance. So do you have any thoughts on how can we come up with a solution for the plastic which is already there as garbage? Like, because maybe you did some research and you came up with something, or you found something.
Right now, like, the easiest or most viable solution right now is for us to find ways to recycle it, since, as I said before, 400 million tons of plastic is being thrown away yearly, and only like less than 15% of it is actually being recycled. So a tool that we can focus on right now is like try to recycle a bit more, like push governments to have stricter policies towards plastics, but towards make the wood. But like sadly, we can't really like make them magically disappear. So the only two ways right now is will be push governments to have like stricter laws towards the plastic recycle, like nationally, even internationally right now.
I think the main problem is also the fact that even if, for example, if you incinerate plastic or if you decompose of it or anything like that, it's still going to release toxic pesticides and ingredients, which was it created with. So right now, as Doris said, the only thing that we can do is push governments and push corporations to try to find them a solution, because to ask a startup to solve this problem is actually pretty hard. And for us as consumers, the main thing that we can do, which also links up to our call to action, is just to be a little bit more conscious of what you're consuming, because it's very easy to say like, oh, this water bottle is not going to be much of an effect and I'm thirsty, so I'm just going to buy it. And I don't want to be cleaning my water bottle every day, so I don't want to buy a reusable water bottle. But as Doris said, like if we actually take into consideration just how much straws we use daily, we can make a trail from here, from Taipei to India. And I mean, that's pretty intense for it to be a daily consumption.
Yeah, true.
This is Taiwan alone.
Yeah, but I feel that Taiwan is a good place to start from, like the government. I hope so.
Yeah, it is. And also I feel like people are more willing to listen, because it's a very it's like a very organized society.
Yeah, exactly. Like try that in India. It would be a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think now it's time for our call to action. Can you please stop sharing the slide so I change it?
Okay, perfect. Let me see. How do I? Okay, stop sharing. Perfect.
Priya, I can share for you.
Okay, thank you, Christina. Okay, so since Power to Change wants to convince the banks to switch from paper billing to e-billing, so if you see the QR codes, what we want to do is for people to just scan this QR code and fill a form which will only take maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and that will only, it doesn't mean that you're changing to e-billing. It means that you support that, and we take these forms to the banks and we convince them that that's what we want to do and that's what your customer wants. So that's how we are coming up with e-billing. So everyone, if you can scan this QR code, that would be our call to action and your little thing that we can do for this movement. And also, if you're interested in joining Power to Change, we have 3 QR codes. Next slide, please. For Taiwan, Japan, and Thailand. If any of you wants to join it in Taiwan, Thailand, Japan, you're very welcome. And you can also share, scan the QR code and contact us. Okay, so now let's go to Doris and Maria for their call to action. And also Paraguay team is coming soon, Doris. It's on the way.
Well, our call to action is basically what I just explained before. Try to be more conscious. Try to double think and triple think if possible of everything that you're consuming daily, because we might think like, this isn't much, this isn't affecting the earth as much as I think, but once you start adding everything up, it's actually a pretty big deal. Like we as consumers can do enough. As there's a quote that says like, and I'm not telling anyone to like be vegan or anything like that, because I personally am not vegan, but there are little steps that we can take. Like if you take one day with a little bit less meat, then that's a little bit less of carbon emission that we as consumers have. If you take one day where you say like, okay, today I'm going to use a reusable water bottle, or I'm going to bring my own cutlery, or I'm going to skip the straw and I'm just going to use the cup and things like that, that already is a lot of change. That already is making an effect. And we are humans, so of course mistakes are going to be made, but we do think that you can create habits that are going to have a positive impact in the long run. Even if it's not something that you can visibly see, it's still contributing to a positive outturn and a positive turnover, because at the end of the day, consumers are the ones that dictate what corporations do. And if we as consumers start taking a stance and start being more conscious of our decisions, then of course companies are going to start doing the same. We saw this change, and we are seeing this change happening in the fashion industry. So a lot of people are starting to thrift. A lot of people are starting to ask corporations to show what their factories look like and things like that. And because of that, corporations are starting to take a change and starting to be a little bit more eco-conscious in how they produce their clothes. It's still not perfect, but again, as we start pushing and as we start pressuring companies and corporations and even governments, then we can start seeing that a change is going to be happening. And the same thing can be seen for plastic. And basically, just to add up to what Doris said, like since 1950, all of the plastic that has been consumed, only 9% of that plastic has actually been recycled. So just imagine the fact that we're in 2022. It's been more than a couple of decades since 1950, and only 9% of that has actually left our Earth. So, I mean, I think it's time for a change.
That's so scary, honestly. And I'm so glad that we have, hope or solutions coming out. So that's so great.
And also just try to shop local, try to support startups, and especially startups that are trying to make a change, like UpRoot, that are trying to go for greener alternatives and greener products. So maybe it's going to be a little bit more costly, but at the end of the day, it's a fair trade-off for a better future for our generation and future generations to come.
Very true. Okay. So in the end, if everyone would like to open their cameras and we can take a group photo, so they can promote both Power to Change and UpRoot later. I wanted to share because this Saturday we had Maria and Doris from UpRoot. So we do this every Saturday. We are having a talk series. We already did some with Luwian, and we have the next one at 21st May with Anita Su, also based in Taiwan, and she is the founder of Small Steps Green Founder. So please join us for that. And you'll know more cool stuff about environment, sustainability, and yes, and Power to Change, and UpRoot. Okay. Also, we have this new social media promotion to share our own stories on our Instagram. So if you want to send your story, please contact us on Instagram and we'll share. It can be anything about changing the world, about sustainability, or anything about environment, or something. Environment. Cool. Okay, let's finally take a good photo.
Okay, wait a second.
And we already have shared the link for the UpRoot website on the chat. So guys, please check it out. Go buy the UpRoot plastic straws and support us. This is for an environment-friendly cause.
Yeah, so if you guys would like to turn on your camera, because I'm the IT person today, so I'm gonna take a photo for all of you. Right, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, oh, Jesus is here. Hi, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Doris
you, guys.
Thank
you guys for inviting us. It's always nice to meet fellow environmental protection people.
It was so great. I was so inspired. Like I always see plastic here and there, and I always feel stuck